Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And this movie came out in 2025, and it's the latest Mission Impossible movie. I'm not sure if it's trying to be the last one. There's probably going to be more, but this is part two of Dead Reckoning, and then they changed the title to Final Reckoning instead of Dead Reckoning Part 2. And I felt very similar to this movie as I did with Dead Reckoning Part 1. When I was done with the film, and shortly before I started recording my thoughts on this movie, I went back to look at my notes for Part 1, and I realized, wow, I have the same amount of notes that I have for both movies. All the same positives and all the same negatives. I don't know how that happened, but here we are. It might be due to the fact that it was split into two parts, and I guess it makes sense. And I don't really have much to say about this movie, honestly, that's different from what I said about part one. The acting is solid. I like the character dynamics. The action was fun. The stunts were impressive, and there are two standout scenes or sequences, I should say, that took place in this movie. Whereas Dead Reckoning Part 1 had one climactic train scene that was kind of fun and memorable, and that's easily the best part of that movie. Whereas this movie has two, that being the underwater sequence, which I found to be kind of fun and honestly reminded me of The Abyss a little bit. Not saying that not saying that as a bad thing, but I'm just saying it's the thing. And I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting and fun. And that's when the movie started to get pretty enjoyable for me, at least. And also, this is in all of the marketing and even on the poster, a scene with the airplane. That was kind of fun. I really enjoyed that. It did go on for a while, and I never once felt as though it overstayed its welcome. So I'll give the movie props for that. And this film has some good characters. I like Luther and Simon Pegg's character. He's fun. But to get into my issues with this movie did not need to be almost 3 hours long. Could have been a 2 to 2.5 hour long film. Would have been much better. They don't really do a whole lot with that gigantic runtime, which is basically 5.5 hours, basically. It's like, wow, it's pretty much a whole lot of nothing for most of the movie. It does get fairly repetitive, and I just felt as though we weren't really progressing a whole lot through the story, and there were lots of flashbacks throughout this film, and I found that to be kind of distracting to like other films and earlier in this film, if I'm remembering it correctly, and it was just not really something I could really go along with. I didn't care about the villain in this movie. I found him to be kind of goofy and was never able to take him seriously. I get to that this movie is based off of the Mission Impossible show, which was kind of goofy from what I hear, and it's trying to capture that tone, but it kind of felt a bit conflicting because most of the movie, or at least my interpretation from most of the movie, is taking itself pretty seriously. And you have this villain who is a bit goofy, and he just kind of stands out as, yeah, you're not really bringing anything to this. And the dialogue is pretty weak at times. And sometimes it's unnecessary, and there are points where characters are discussing a plan and they're pretty much just interrupting each other, which I found to be a little distracting, and it just felt like 12 monkeys, but no self awareness and not trying to poke fun at what it's doing. There was also plenty of forced drama throughout this film. I didn't really care about the characters as much as I probably should have. Didn't care about the story. It was a lot of wasted time, and honestly, it's kind of forgettable to me. And I was able to watch it for free on Amazon, so if you're looking to watch it, there's a way to do so. There's obviously other ways to watch it, but that's how I saw it, and overall, I just didn't really take away much from this movie, which I get what these movies are trying to be. They're just supposed to be a nice, simple entertainment, and I get why you watch them. You watch them for the action scenes and to be entertained for a few hours, but Still, I kind of wish that that's what I got, because what we had was a movie that felt dragged out and just didn't really know where its story should be, in a way, if that makes sense. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Thrash. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.